Hey guys, Rebel here. Welcome back to some more iRacing. A little bit of different take this week. It's week 13, as some of you may know. So week 13 is a fun week. No stats count against your racing or none of that stuff. So it's just a time that iRacing can do updates, release new things. They release a new track and a new BMW Z4. So the video you're going to be watching, or the background video, is just a figure 8 race that me and Tony were messing around with. And then there's another GT3 race where I was testing out the BMW Z4. But today's video is a little bit different because me and Tony decided to sit down and have a chat about how season 1 went. So season 1's all done. We're going into season 2. So we thought we would discuss, how the season went for each other and what we're looking forward to in the future. So with that, I'll leave you guys to that conversation that we have, and I hope you guys enjoy the video.
I think then the first thing to ask is, how do you think the season went?
For me, I thought the season went great. For the simple reason that I started off the season with, I think it was 985 I rating. I finished off with 1795. So I would consider that a success.
Yeah, shit, I'd say so. And then you finished. What did you finish in the division?
I was 6th in my division.
6 in your division.
Yeah, and I had less races.
Yeah. I should pull up, just for shits and giggles, I should pull up those season stats as well. I would, I think this season. So okay, well, let me ask you this then. Okay, so you say it's a success. You and I both raced in McLaren, 2 seasons ago now, I think it was?
Yeah, I think it was sometime in the fall.
Okay, so what is your impression between the McLaren and the roof now at the end of season 1, 2014?
I still prefer the McLaren. I enjoy driving it more, and I think it's more just because I like the look of it. Mm-hmm. More than anything. The biggest problem I had with the roof was the interior, but obviously they couldn't change that because of it was copyright issues or something.
So yeah, I think that's what I heard too.
Yeah. I know it doesn't really matter what it looks like; it matters what it drives like. But I like the way the McLaren drives, and I think it was you that mentioned it to me that they were still on the old tire model.
I think the last season they were on new tire model, but they did something with the suspension or some crap.
Oh, okay. So that was unfortunate, like that the McLaren, or that the roof could outbrake the McLaren so bad.
Yeah.
But with any game you play, no matter what, when they bring something out, they're going to test it. They're going to change it. We just had an update on the roof, changed a couple of things. So who knows what it's going to be like next season as we go into season 2.
Yeah, because that's right. Because like at the beginning, this time last season, during week 13, the roof was like ridiculously fast. It was really fast. And it was like, you're sitting there going, the McLaren has to race against this? Are you serious?
Yeah.
But I think during week 13 last season, I don't remember exactly, but I think the roof was on new tire model 5 and the McLaren wasn't. And then they had nerfed the transmission of the McLaren, or the roof, after week 13 going into week 1.
Yeah, so, that's what happened. Yeah.
So anyways, how would I classify mine to answer my own question, I guess? I think the season, like you, was a success. I don't remember what my I rating was when I started. I think I was like at 1100 or something.
I think you were somewhere in the 1100s.
Yeah, I think I might have been 1100, and then I finished like high 1600s. So I had a bit of a yo-yo this whole season. I yo-yoed up and down.
Well, I think we both did.
Yeah. I think you did less than I did, though. And then I finished in my division 6. I finished 9th position, so I had 655 points for the season.
Yeah. And it was a higher division too. You got to take that into account. So
yeah, we didn't get into a lot of. I think I only got in a couple higher splits that gave me a handful more points than you. I think just a couple of races.
Yeah,
but it was rare. I think it was whenever I raced alone.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks I ended up in some higher division. So
Yeah, you did.
that helped me with the points.
Yeah, you did.
When my I rating jumped up. So
Yeah. That was wicked because there, we raced together last week, towards the end of the week, and I thought we were going to be in the same split, and then I ended up in pole position of a really low split. I think it was like the third split of like a 1200 I rating split. And
what track was that? Zolder.
That was Zolder, yeah. And I just decimated that entire field.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even fun. Like, I got a win and it goes on my stats, but it wasn't even a fun race.
Yeah, I ended up with the aliens.
Yeah.
But they're, even though I can't remember what positions I started off in, I was back like somewhere around in between 14 and 17, but they were really good races.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter to me that I wasn't top 5 or nothing like that, because I knew they had a lot better I ratings, you know. And every race I go into, I take in the account that I haven't even been on iRacing 1 year yet, and this game has been out since 2008.
Mm-hmm.
So you got all these people with all this experience, and I still don't have a year. So I thought about that every race I went into. I'm just going to race my race. What happens, happens. So that's kind of the way I took the season, and I kept it that way. So, and you mentioned a couple times how, you know, I was playing the safe role, and I definitely was, like, the first couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Because with my I rating so low, I was like, I need to fix this. Because it's not helping me at all. Yeah, sure, I get into the lower bracket and race some slower people, but that's not our goal, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so. So I think now, because of the video that I just posted today, I think you can go ahead and correct me if you want in public, because I had said something to the effect of how you were letting people go by you, and that wasn't the case.
That's just me taking a stab at you.
Yeah.
I like to do that every once in a while.
Yeah, a lot.
I only let people go past me when I know that they're faster and they're going to pass me anyway.
Yeah.
So I give them the line if I know, like, they're extremely faster than me. If it's someone that I know that I can compete with, I won't give them the line. And with every week that progressed, I started racing more defensively.
Yeah.
And it was kind of part of my original plan.
Oh, okay, so you had a plan going into the season.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Because just to go back to what we were just saying a minute ago, I remember very distinctly that there was one race, I think maybe it was on Zandvoort or something, but you told me, you're like, I'm just not going to let you pass. And
yeah. I think it was Zandvoort.
Yeah, so that stuck out to me. I'm like, oh, okay, because at that point, like, if I was started to get on your butt, you would just kind of let me go. But then at that point, I think it was at Zandvoort, you're just like, I'm not just gonna let you go. So then now after that point, if I'm behind you, I know, okay, well, Tim and I got a real race on our hands, but I'll be super cautious around you. I of all people, I don't want to hit you.
Yeah. And that's like, the race we had a race at Zolder, and I'll be putting that one up next week, or maybe tomorrow if I can get it done. But you had pole position, I was second, and we went into turn 1, and I had a better start, but I took an outside line, and I made sure to stay on the outside because I knew you were on the inside, and I didn't want to get into it with you on the first one. So I knew you were going to pass me, but, you know, it's the right thing to do as a team. I'm going to let Tony go because there's a guy right behind Tony, and rather than try to squeeze in and hold the first place, I'm going to let him go.
That was actually kind of hairy because I did get a shitty start, and I think it was in TeamSpeak. I joked about how you had pole at Zandvoort and you had a shitty start or something like
that. I had a shitty start and you blew right past me.
But I honestly knew, though, when you were neck and neck with me, I knew that you weren't, I knew you weren't going to give up until we had to get into that turn. So, like, I had to take the turn as if I was defending my position from anyone else.
Yeah, because there was a guy right behind you, too.
Yeah, so I mean, if you would have passed me, then I would have been the guy who would have been keeping the dude in third place from you.
Yeah.
So out of the season, what do you think is what was your favorite track out of the whole season?
Um, geez, now I got to remember all the track names. uh, what was my favorite track? Well, I prefer the tracks that are, more a tighter track, not like a
So you
open
like
fast track.
Brands
Yeah,
Hatch?
Brands Hatch was. I think Brands Hatch would be my favorite only because it was the first track that I never raced on,
Yeah.
and with a few practice sessions, I was really comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the same as Zanford too. I was really comfortable on that one because when I mentioned to you about I'm not going to let you pass me,
Yeah.
I felt good on that track. So I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
I know how to race this track. I ain't giving up any positions. And I'm pretty sure that was a good week for me. I did. I think I did well on that week, if I
Yeah.
recall.
Yeah, that was I don't know. So I kind of what would be mine if I can think off the top of my head? I think Road America this season, specifically the week of Road America, was probably my favorite track to run because for whatever reason, I didn't start out running that well, but oh no, actually, you know what? I kind of did. I think I had pole position
You
that
did, yeah.
first Tuesday race, and I was upset with myself because I had made a couple of really big mistakes that I would have won the race if I could have not made those mistakes. And towards the end of the week, I did end up hitting like a 204 in practice, and I felt really comfortable and just really competitive on that track.
Yeah, and I think it really matters when you're going into the week if you know that track and you like that track. I find that
Yeah.
makes a big difference because I remember the week before you're like, "Oh, Road America's next week," and you were pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I was. Well, I
Yeah.
was super excited about Road Atlanta, but that week ended up being a really bad week for me up until the last race when I raced that fifth race and I had a really good race. But the first four races that I ran were just really bad races.
Yeah. I thought
So
you were going to say Interlagos.
I didn't really enjoy Interlagos at all. That was a really bad week. That was one of the weeks that, like, if I were to have put down iRacing for the rest of the season, it would have been because of Interlagos. It was a bad week. What about you? Did you have like a one week where you're just like, fuck, man, this sucks?
No, I did. Well, not really suck, but I knew I was terrible at the track. Interlagos was not a tough week for me, but I've never been really comfortable on that track.
Yeah.
So it was an all right. I did okay. I don't think I had any big fuck ups or anything like that. I think I ran it pretty clean, but
You did actually have a good week at Interlagos.
yeah.
And which I was jealous. I was really jealous because I was
you had the bad ones.
I was getting hit by, a McLaren one race and then a roof the next race. My car was flipping over and I found myself in the pits, and you were constantly in positions like 3 and 4 all week long.
Yeah. I was staying within the top fives.
Yeah, you actually had a really good week. That was a really good week for you. I think the only other track that I didn't particularly like was Sebring, and maybe one because I didn't know it really well, and two because it's kind of a difficult track.
Yeah. Sebring I didn't care for either. I was kind of waiting for that week to be done with.
Yeah. Oh, but it was like a safety rating boost.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good one for that.
That one, my safety rating sky. I don't know about you, but mine went up to like a 3.9.
What was the week that you had a really good increase on the I rating? It was one of the 70-minute races.
Spa probably.
No,
Not Spa.
Oh, Silverstone.
Yeah, Silverstone.
That was my worst week.
That was your worst week. That's like week. I think that was like week 3.
Something like that. I hated that track.
Hated that track.
I think that's the track I disliked the most. I really didn't like that track. I don't know why, but it's more wide open.
Yeah.
Kind of goes back to what I was saying before. It's a wide open, fast track.
Yeah.
I like racing and I like road. You know me, I don't like oval. I want to go from sixth gear to second gear to fourth gear to I love that. I love that about road racing. So I prefer. That's why. Oh, hello, phone. That was loud. Damn you. Who was
Damn
it?
you, phone.
Tim. Damn you, darkness. Yeah. So I prefer the tight tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with Silverstone so wide open and the big looping turns, I don't like that at all. It's not my thing.
You know what? I can see that because you did have a good week in Interlagos, and you did have a good week at Brands Hatch.
Yeah.
And you said you like Zandvoort and
Zolder
nice. As well.
Yeah, I like those courses.
So those ones. It's kind of funny you should say that because minus Brands Hatch, like after I got the track down, I had one really good race there. But Zandvoort and Zolder, to a lesser extent, are tracks that sort of confound me. I just don't get them. A couple of the turns, you just don't get it, and it keeps you from having a good fast race.
It's true, yeah.
And what are the So I mean, would you say Silverstone would be the one track that you're just like no?
Yeah, I could easily skip a week with that track. I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And only count 8 weeks, so I guess you can strategically decide not to race certain weeks.
That's true, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if it does come up season 2, I just might say no.
Oh, we're missing week number 2.
Yes.
You had a really good race.
Yes, and I was gonna bring that up.
All right, go for it.
Mount Panorama?
Yes.
Best track of the season.
Best track of the season,
it's
sure?
So much fun.
It is.
It's so much fun. I had a decent week. I had a pretty good week that week. Because I didn't have one race where I got into any big wreck.
You're so lucky.
Yeah, and I love that course because the first time I played it when it first came out, I raced it with the V8 supercar. And it was the first time I drove the V8 supercar. And that car, if anybody has driven in iRacing, the V8 supercar is extremely, extremely hard to drive.
Yeah.
And people don't post setups.
No, they don't.
It's so hard to find a setup for that car. So I think it was a combination of such a hard car, such a hard course, because it can be. It's surrounded by walls. You mess up, you're done.
Yeah.
So I think it was that combination going to a GT3 car. I found it kind of easy.
You did.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed that week.
Yeah, you did. I think the most memorable part of that was, I think it was the last race that we ran, and we were in the same split, and we were coming on the downhill. And this is week 2, so this is still when you said you're being cautious, and you're just like, oh, I'll let you pass on the straightaway. And so I came down. We're coming to that left-hander, and my brakes locked up or something, and the car wouldn't turn, and I slammed right into the wall.
Yeah,
and
I remember
it was like
that.
lap 2 or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was lap 2, lap 3, somewhere.
It was early, and I was so mad because I had spent hours upon hours practicing.
We spent a lot of time that week racing.
We did.
Yeah.
Well, you see,
I was on vacation, I think.
I think you were too. You're right.
Yeah.
Your like Mount Panorama is your Road America for me. You're just like, that's the track that probably better than the other ones, I imagine.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That and Watkins Glen.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're really good at Watkins Glen as well. And so it was one of those tracks that I was dedicated to getting better at, because you were already so good at it, and it's not like an inferiority complex, but I like us to be competitive with each other, and it sucks when one of us just isn't as good as the other one.
Yeah. Especially if we're learning a new track and one person gets it, if you get the track and I don't get it, it's like, okay, what's going on here?
Well, that's how I felt.
What am I missing?
Not Watkins. That's how I felt with Brands Hatch.
Yeah.
Like you were just like, I love this track, and I'm sitting here like, I hate this track. I said that too many times. And I remember you one time you telling me, you just like, you say that a lot about tracks, and by the end of the week, you like them.
It's true though, yeah.
It's
First
true.
of the week. First of the week. I don't know about this track. I might skip this week.
Yeah. Okay, so what about later weeks? Looking at like Suzuka. That was a track where I didn't really have that great of a week, but you seemed to take to it really easily.
Yeah, Suzuki was pretty good. I enjoyed that track. It's another one I enjoy. It's a smaller one too.
It is a smaller,
Yeah.
gear banging track.
Yeah. I had how did I do that week? Yeah, I didn't get to race it a lot, but
No,
I
you
had
didn't,
good. I had good races.
Yeah, you did. And
And when I say good races, I'm not talking about like podium positions.
Yeah.
I'm talking, nice, clean races, competitive, and I think almost every week, but maybe Silverstone. I had competitive races all the time. I was always top 6.
Yeah.
So for me, I consider that a success to be top 6. And that all goes back to, okay, I haven't been racing as long as everybody else, improving my I rating. Safety rating, I didn't care about as much because I had already advanced to the A class. So I wasn't worried about, I don't think I spent any part of the season really worrying about my safety rating.
Mm-hmm.
I had quite a few weeks where I had incident-free races, and it wasn't an issue with me. I just wanted to run clean and competitive and build the I rating. So, if I'm always in top 6, I consider that good.
That's true because I think you started the season with an A class, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so for you to be an A class, like even if you lost your A license, you can still race. So it's not really that imperative.
It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, for me though, when I was dancing, getting close to like dropping below a 3, I'm starting to like get into panic mode because I know that I want to make sure to be in a position where I can be promoted, but I would hate to fall down where I lose my B license and I can't even race anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be bad.
Yeah. And of course, there's Phillip Island.
Oh yeah, that's right, Phillip Island. That's another track that I don't know. What's your impression of Phillip Island?
I like Phillip Island. It was another track that I had practiced with the B8 supercar.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I caught on to Phillip Island pretty good.
Yeah,
I did have some bad races though. I had a couple times I got slammed from behind, but yeah. I still enjoyed racing that track because that was the week when we did Phillip Island, where I think we ended up in the top split, and we just, and the both of us kind of sat back and went, "We're just going to watch everyone wreck."
You're right. Yes,
that was the week.
That was,
and I think that was probably the funnest race we both had.
I think you're right because you did say, and I agreed with you kind of reluctantly at first, but you're just like, let's go ahead and like watch these guys just see what happens. And sure enough, you just watch cars flying off track, or they got in that massive wreck.
Yeah, because the turns were hard, and if you're going too fast, you just zip right off. Yeah. Right off the track. So we just sat back and we're watching people just fly off the track left, right, and center. We're just going. so and we moved up. I gained a lot of I rating in that race just because I didn't pass people. I just waited for them to mess up.
Yeah, that's true. I think
it's like, I gained a position. I gained another position. Another one.
And that was a track that, just to go back on that, that was a track that I was chasing you for a while, and then it wasn't until you had a little bit of a mess up in that, like that 180-degree turn, kind of.
Yes, yeah.
And then you just are like, okay, no, you can go ahead and pass. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I had taken the turn too fast, so I had to go hard on the brakes. So I knew you were coming up on the inside, so it's like Go right ahead.
But that was one of those things. Like at that point in the season, pretty much from I think Zandvoort on, it was a very much a mutual respect and no assumption on my part that if I got in within like 0.3 of a second behind you, you're not gonna just let me go.
Yeah, like I can tell when you're behind me and you're having a good lap or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And if I mess up once, you know how much time you lose when you mess up.
Yeah.
So it's, well, why am I going to fight to stay in front of them?
Yeah.
Most
people do. Though.
Yeah, a lot of people do, but we're teammates.
That's true.
Just go right ahead. I'll block. Go ahead and I'll block everybody else.
Well, you're coming up on your year now, and I know you're going to do a year video. And the one thing I was going to kind of curious about from my own perspective, and I want to know from your perspective, is what do you think about the quality of the racers in the GT3 series? Because you've done the rookie class, the D class. We raced together in C class for the Grand Am series. Yeah. And my impression of racers at the Grand Am series level is kind of high. Like I think the guys run at a high level, but now here we are in the GT3 series, and I'm actually a little shaken by the quality of the drivers that participate in the GT3 series. Yeah. And I want to know, like, what's your impression about the overall sort of pool of talent of the GT3 series?
Well, the GT3 series has a lot of people that are racing in it. Yeah. And I think when you talk about quality of drivers, you really have to think. You really got to think about that. With the amount of people that are driving, you're going to have quite a bit of people that don't know how to drive it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of bad drivers, but I think there's still more good drivers than bad drivers. Because when I raced in the Corvette series and stuff like that, there were good racers, but there were some bad ones. But not that many people raced that series at the time I was doing it. So I don't know. It's hit or miss with the GT3. I'm always surprised though when we get into a GT3 race and there's people that they're diving in corners on the first turn on the first lap.
Yeah,
I don't understand that at all, and I don't know how they got there with that mentality.
That is a good point, and I have no idea how they got there either.
How'd you get out of rookie?
Yeah,
how'd you get out of D class?
How do you get out of C class? It's ridiculous when they do crap like that. But you're right, and I pretty much would echo the same sentiments that it's watching some people run and the behavior, especially the fast guys, the guys who are fast, but they're so fast that they feel as if they can do anything.
Well,
and they make dumb mistakes.
A good example, there's one guy in my division. I won't say any names, but he finished second in the division.
Yeah.
And we talked about how I'm coming up on my 1 year. Last week or the week before, I just got my 100th race of the year. Well, this guy that finished second has 130 some in the season.
Yeah.
So he races a lot, but his incidences is through the roof. And he's got a lot of wins. Yeah. So here's a racer. Got a lot of wins, yes. But I've been in quite a few races with him, and he couldn't finish the race.
Yeah. Oh, he's off track, yeah.
It's like he either wins or he doesn't finish a race. But that gives him enough points to bump him up in the division. And I don't understand why anybody would want to be that driver, especially if you're familiar with iRacing and how it works, because it's unlike any other sim.
Yeah, you're right. Totally.
Yeah, you make mistakes and they nail you hard for it. There's no give. It's not like some other sims where you can just hammer down around the corners and not worry about nothing.
True.
This thing, you're halfway down on the gas pedal around a turn, well, you're gone.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah. So I don't understand why someone that plays iRacing and understands what's going to happen if you do something wrong, could be that aggressive have that many instances, and the instances doesn't affect him. It affects the person both because he's hitting. They're not all off tracks. He's hitting people as well.
Yeah.
So why are you that ignorant towards your fellow driver?
That would be the one thing that does drive me nuts is car contact. Car contact is completely avoidable. I can understand if you're going to go in for a pass and sometimes shit happens, but the rear ending of people, it's just very simple things that one race you kind of, I think you got a little nerve. Oh, it was at Spa where I was chasing you and someone else, and we were coming like on the downhill slope, and you two were braking before the turn, and I was rolling through it by letting off, and you had made a comment about how I need to not. It's not practice. I need to pay attention to the guys in front of me because I came up on you really quick.
Yeah.
And it is one of those things that, like I knew you guys were there, and I think I had to brake a little bit because I was coming on you a little too fast. But there is that, if you get to B class, you should know by now if you're trailing someone, you need to brake before they do when you're going into a turn, or else you're going to run right in the back of them.
I remember making that comment too, because I had a hard time understanding why people behind a car brake after. Like, how do you not pay attention and anticipate when this person's going to brake?
Yeah.
Because you can still brake before them and pass them coming out of the turn. Slow in, fast out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a simple racing concept.
Yeah. The only defense I could say to that is, I think I mentioned this in a video once, is that you don't race with the same people all the time, so you don't know what line they take. And I had that on Road America with the guy who won that race, that he passed me by, and I actually rear-ended him because he broke really early going into turn 2, and I brake later than him, and I had no idea that he was braking that early, and so we had a car contact because of that.
Yeah.
And it was just a matter of like, he just his line was an early breaking point than mine. And, from then on, it was an incident free race, but it was one of those like, bam, just slammed him. Like, damn it. That sucks. Shit happens like this.
Shit does happen. I mean, I've hit a few people from behind.
Yeah.
It shit does happen, but when you constantly see the same people doing it.
That's true.
Okay.
There's a difference there. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So then where do you see, now that the GT3 series has a BMW now, we have got the BMW, where do you see the series going? Because, well, you know what, actually, before I ask, do you think that the roof and the McLaren in the hands of a normal driver, like an average iRacer, are they equal? Are they competitive with each other?
As of now in the new update?
No, like last season.
Last season? No. I still think the roof is faster.
Yeah.
Because I consider myself an average driver, and I'm not a pro with the setups and everything. And I was always faster with the roof. Always a couple seconds faster.
Me too. And that's I feel the same way. I think in the average driver's hands, the roof is faster than the McLaren.
And it bothered me too because I really like the McLaren.
Yeah, well, it bothered me. I like the McLaren, but it bothered me because I wanted to see a good mixture of cars. I was excited to see two different cars racing with each other, and it more or less ended up being the Roof Cup with a few McLarens. And some of that could be just the simple fact that at first the roof was brand new and everyone's going to want to run the brand new car. But then as the season progressed, people realized that there were these problems with the McLarens. And I think the people that stuck with the McLarens are the ones that were sort of bullheaded, and they're just like, well, I'm going to be different. And there were really fast guys out there with the McLarens, which I was impressed by. Like,
there was people that really knew how to drive the McLaren.
Yeah, if they were running faster than all the roofs, then you knew that they were probably super fast in the roof.
Yeah, the guy that finished first in my division, he ran the McLaren every week, and I ended up once in a pole position, and I was holding it, and I looked, and that person that was first in my division was behind me, and he was gaining ground, and I'm like, I'm not going to be able to hold him off. And he was driving a McLaren, but fast.
Yeah, very
Faster than the
fast.
McLaren. So I don't think you're going to see much of a change or a mixture until we hit season 3. Because season 2,
BMW.
a lot of people are going to run the BMW. It's a good car. I'm running the BMW.
We agreed that we were going to run the BMW anyways.
We did, yeah. We had, because we make videos on YouTube and stuff like that. We're doing it for more than one reason.
Yeah.
But when season 3 comes, before season 3, I'm gonna say to myself, okay, which one do I want to run? I'm gonna ask myself that question.
It's funny you should say that, because that's kind of what I thought too for season 3. I almost actually thought that for season 3 I might just run the McLaren all season, just so I can run a season with all 3 cars.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Yeah.
Make my choice for season 4.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna probably do what you're talking about now, where I've already run the McLaren once. I've run the McLaren a couple times last season. I've run it a couple times during week 13 now, and I think at the end. I should take that back a little bit, because I am planning on trying to run a mixture of the 3 this season. Crossing my fingers, probably won't happen this season. I just want to try, like maybe even practice sessions, just get an impression, because so far I do like where the McLaren is, and I like to see there's a lot of BMWs. Like there's a ridiculous amount of BMWs, but there are more McLarens and roofs sort of on average than before.
In the competitive people, I think they're going to stick more towards what they know.
I think so too.
The ones that are watching the standings and watching the points, they're like, I'm fast in the McLaren. I'm going to stick with the McLaren. Fast in the roof. I'm going to stick with that. I'm not going to. I'll mess around with the BMW in practice sessions, but if those guys that are watching the points and they're looking to get a pro rating and they want to end up top 3 at the end of the season.
Yeah,
they're going to stick to what they know.
That's a good point. And actually, I think I told you once, in just sort of, it was an off the cuff kind of comment. I said that I think what I might do is I might run a car based upon the track.
Yeah,
if I happen to find
if
I happen to find a car, so maybe I'm better with the roof on Brand's hatch, I might run the roof instead of the BMW. I don't know. Right now, as it stands, the BMW is a pretty good ride. So it'll be interesting to see how it shapes up during the season. So
for me, I'm an aesthetics kind of guy. If it looks good, I want to drive it. When it comes to cars.
Well, I did promise.
And the BMW, I was like, oh, I like this. This is nice. And it was funny because you were saying you like the roof because it seems a little more. It seems a little narrower.
Yeah.
And the BMW seems like such a wide car, and I'm like, yeah, that's why I like it.
It's like a land yacht, man.
Yeah.
And that was one of the reasons why
I take up all the road.
Well, the McLaren, for me, it's like another one of those cars that, like, it's so wide and the windscreen is so narrow. I just felt claustrophobic. I liked how you could see a lot out of the roof.
I never felt that in the McLaren. I remember you saying that. I'm like, oh, really? And then I hopped in the McLaren. And I'm like, I don't find it that bad.
I think it's just sort of like I got this nice, beautiful picture with the roof, and then you go back to the McLaren. It's sort of the slender little setup. You don't have a real rear view mirror because the engine's back there. You get the fake digital one.
Yeah.
So,
but I did enjoy driving the roof, though.
Yeah, I did too.
It was a fun season with the roof.
It is a fun car. It's like, it feels like a spirited car. Like it really wants to go.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't want to get into a BMW review, but to a lesser, like the BMW for me, I don't feel like the power. Like the last race that we just ran, like almost an hour ago, I felt like slow in that car, even though I was putting down good lap times.
Yeah.
It just felt slow.
Sometimes noises, will trigger that. Like the roof, it's got like a whinier noise to it.
Yeah.
So it seems like you're going faster than you actually are.
Yeah, that's true.
And the McLaren's very like a low bassy kind of car, especially when the traction control kicks in.
Yeah, we won't get started on that. So, how long have we gone for? You said you had a timer on.
Yeah, this is about 38 minutes. We're gonna have to wrap it up.
All right, well, I think we should wrap it up. Though I think the only thing what I'll do for the last part of this is just go and do our lines for the season. I don't know. Do you have yours up?
My lines?
Yeah, you're okay. So I'll just go ahead. So for the 2014 season one, Tim had 48 starts, 0 wins, 15 top five or 14 top five, excuse me, 3 poles. Your average start was 9. Your average finish was 12. He had 902 laps for that first season, and you led 13 laps. Your average incident was 5.2, which is pretty damn good.
5.2?
5.2.
Proud of that.
And your average points per race were 50.
Ah, really? So, that's kind of low.
Well, mine were 50 as well. But then again, we race in lower splits.
True.
You're going to run in higher. Well, hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers I'll be able to race with you, but hopefully we'll run in higher splits. So you said you had said something how you didn't run that much. So for season one, I ran 43 races. I had 43 starts, 4 wins, 13 top fives, 7 poles. My average start was 10. My average finish was 12. I had 845 total laps. I led 111 laps. I had my average incident was 7.13, and then my average points per race were 50. So we had the same amount of points. Man, you were way safer than I was, and you ran almost 100. Was that like 75 more laps than me or something like that?
Yeah. Well, I had 4 more races,
and our average finish was the same. Our average start was you were 1 higher than me, and I had more poles. And our top fives, you had 1 more top 5 than me. So we're pretty close.
But I didn't have any wins.
No, I didn't have any wins. No. Well, in fairness, 3 of my wins came on super low strength of field race. Well, 2 came on super low strength of field races.
Yeah.
And 1 came on a good race at Zolder. But 3 out of the 4 wins this season came from Zolder.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had that 1 race at Zandvoort where we just we lucked out, and that guy ran out of gas.
That's right.
That was really that was fun.
I felt bad for that guy.
I did too. You guys had a good battle.
Yeah.
So I think we should probably wrap it up then.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
I want to say thanks for everyone that's been supporting us in our videos.
Yeah, that's actually a good way to say that. Thank you guys for watching.
And the streams. I know Tony's been streaming a lot. I got to get my button gear when it comes to streaming.
You got to stream more, definitely. So hopefully if you guys are enjoying the video, if you're enjoying the videos from, both of our videos, stay tuned because we will do season 2 of 2014 as well, the GT3 series and the BMW this time.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that little conversation. All Tony's links will be down below for his streaming and also his YouTube channel. And we're really looking forward to season 2. I hope you guys are too. And I'd like to say thank you to everybody that's been supporting the videos. Racing is a lot of fun for me, and I wasn't sure how well it'd do on YouTube, but I appreciate all the support. Thanks, guys.